I'm so damn hood. I'm hood. What's up, guys? Interesting topic today. I thought about it, and I've always wanted to talk about this, and I always wondered who else was dealing with this. Games that when you got them, you were super disappointed. And I got two huge ones, dude. For one, for some reason, I don't really understand the reason for being so excited about it, but it was called, and look it up, it was a beat 'em up, and it was called The Bouncer on PS2. And we had read stuff in magazines, and we liked beat 'em ups, obviously. And for some reason, with the screenshots and everything I seen on it, whether it was PSM, PlayStation Magazine, or Game Informer, I was so pumped to get this game. I got it day one, dude. I think I went to Game Crazy and got it, but I could not wait to get it. I was so pumped, dude. And I got it, and I just beat it the first time I played it. It was super easy, super short, extremely mediocre, and I'm going, that was it? That's it, dude? And this was priced as like a normal game. So if you'd go buy like a new Zelda game or, whatever, a God of War or whatever, this was the same price. It was full price game. It wasn't like it came out and they're nice like they are today, where if the game's not as good or something, it might be a $30 game when everything like Tears of the Kingdom is a $70 game, and you can get, Double Dragon Gaiden for $30. You know what I mean? Like they understand that it's not to that level. No, this was the same price. And I remember going, seriously, that's it? And I think what it was, I read something in a magazine like you were going to be able to make decisions, or you could go down different paths, or it was a really long, but it was a beat 'em up, but it was a super long game, and it had save points and all that stuff. I guess I just felt like it was going to be this more in-depth thing. And back then, you couldn't just look up videos on everything. You couldn't do that. You didn't have people streaming it early. You didn't have people get review copies. And you didn't have that. You just had to read the magazine, man. And then read whatever you seen about it. And that was all you could do. And everything I read, for some reason, I don't know why, but I thought all this other stuff about it. Boy, was I wrong. So The Bouncer is number one. Look it up. I still want to own it to this day, though, just because it's that game that I remember that. And now I want a copy of it just to go, fuck you, and do a playthrough on my channel or something. Then there was the other game, and this was easily the biggest disappointment. Easily, bro. I can't even tell you how I was so disappointed about this game. Oh my god, it broke my heart. It broke my damn heart, dude. And that is SmackDown 3. Just Bring It, I believe is what it is. Yes, it's Just Bring It, right? It's the first one that was on the PlayStation 2. Why was I so hyped for it? Well, for one, after SmackDown 1 and 2, you're going to have PS2 graphics, man. This is going to be fucking sick. At this time, I'm a huge wrestling fan. And if you look at SmackDown 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 1, dude, it had that season mode that was ongoing, never stopped, had a lot of cool game modes like Hell in the Cell, Cage Match, Tornado Tags. I mean, it had all kinds of stuff, Triple Threat. And my thought process was, oh my god, it's going to have all of that, but great graphics, new roster, and it's probably going to perfect the season mode. Like, it's going to do title shots that are more realistic, and it's going to have a more in-depth season mode. It's going to be badass. And I got it, and it has a season mode and everything, but it is so lame. You can win the title in like a half an hour, and then it's over. It shows credits, and then you have to like pick your guy again, and then you can do a little defense season. Dude, it's garbage. If there's anything that was so good about SmackDown 1 and 2, is that you could select a season, and the season never ends, as far as I understand. We used to see how many years we could get into it, and if it ever ended. But, dude, it was fun that you could just play it for as long as you wanted to, and it was always going to be fun. You know what I mean? Like, if once you got sick of it, you could choose a different person, or you could just be done with the game or whatever. But the season never stopped. That was what was fun about those SmackDown games. Yeah, they didn't have the best graphics and stuff like that, but they had ongoing seasons that you could just turn on and say, hey, I'm going to play a couple seasons or a couple of months really quick. And I'm going to sit there with my buddies, and they're going to pick a guy. And when their match comes up, I'll hand them the controller, and they'll hand me the controller. And if we fight each other, we'll fight each other. You know what I mean? We would do stuff like that. We might be a tag team where we pick the Dudley Boys. You know, my buddy Dustin picks Devon, I pick Bubba Ray. And when we're on a team together, we play together. You know, it was so much fun. And then SmackDown goes and has this stupid, 5-minute season. You know, I believe you had to, choose what you wanted to go for, what title, but it depends what you said to Vince McMahon at the beginning. But it was so stupid because all you're doing is repeating the same thing all the time. And it was just so bad. It's kind of like that same season mode on No Mercy. Why I don't like No Mercy's season mode compared to Road to WrestleMania on WrestleMania 2000. WrestleMania 2000 had that really long, 60, 70 fight season where you went through a full year and a whole bunch of stuff could happen. It was just fun to pick a guy and go. No Mercy had one where you have to lose on purpose. You got to say yes to this guy or do this to this guy or do whatever. And it was stupid. I just didn't like it. You're just repeating it the whole time. It's so stupid. It's like I just want to be able to keep playing a season and keep it going. You know? Road to WrestleMania didn't do that, but it was... You fought 70 matches. I mean, it was enough, right? But on SmackDown 1 and 2, you could go for as long as you wanted to. And the problems with SmackDown 1 and 2 was it wasn't very good at, when you're on a pay-per-view, it wasn't good at creating rivalries. There wasn't even rivalries. It wasn't good at going, hey, you should be defending your title. You should be, going for the title. You're number one contender. It didn't do all those things. Because the computer at that time, for the way that it put together matches, was not smart enough yet. The consoles weren't there yet. Where on 2K23 right now, it does that. It understands that. It goes, okay, yep, you got the ranking system. You're right here in the rankings. You're number one contender. So at the next pay-per-view, you get the title shot. You know what I mean? And it's good at doing that. And you can make your own rivalries. That's all understood nowadays. But back in the day, it never did that stuff. SmackDown 1 and 2 never had that stuff. So Just Bring It, I thought, was going to do that. And I was like, it might not be perfect, but dude, it's PS2, and it's going to be pretty good. And the graphics are going to be fucking badass. And, I'd seen the screenshots, and I seen the roster, and I was so fucking pumped, dude. And then I got it, and I'm going... I see the credits rolling after I win the title, and I go... That's it? It throws me back into the main menu, and I'm going, what? That's the season mode? I just beat it in 10 minutes. What? You know what I mean? I'm going, what? So I was, dude, crushed. I was crushed. I remember calling my buddies, telling my buddy Dustin and Paul, guys, this sucks. Yeah, the graphics look great, the fighting's good, all this stuff, the matches are fine, but you can't even do anything. You're done with it after 10 minutes. Let's be fair, a half an hour. I'm and I went back and I remember popping in SmackDown 2 and playing more of it. And I was in the year fucking 2020 or something like that. I was up to today's time, But yeah, huge disappointment, bro. Oh my God. Oh, it hurt. It hurt so bad. Because I love wrestling games, dude. I was so ready. And, dude, a PlayStation 2 wrestling game, I was ready to go, But other than that, I can't really think of much, to be honest with you, that were a huge disappointment. Because here's the thing. Usually, I was really good at doing my research. And just like today, I can watch gameplay for a minute. I'll look up, oh, this game looks cool. Oh, cool, Midnight Resistance playthrough, and I'll watch 10 minutes or even fucking 3 or 4 minutes of it and go, I'm ordering it. You know what I mean? Or I'm going to look at it for the next convention. I'm already on top of it. I'm all in. I already know what I like. So now it's easy. And I'm pretty spot on with what I like. But, man, back in the day, that's something you can thank YouTube for nowadays. Now that you can watch reviews and you can get your own intake on everything, you can watch gameplay. You know, they have like the, you know, on Nintendo Directs, they show you the, you know, they'll have like, okay, Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection's coming out, and they show you some gameplay, and you can go, and you can watch it a few times and go, oh, I'm getting it. You know what I mean? I looked at Double Dragon Gaiden, and I could see that, although I could tell it's not the best game, I can go, hey man, I'll get that. That's worth $30 for sure. You know what I mean? And then you can look up on websites like how much it's going to be and this and that. And you can look all that up nowadays. You can see the previews, you know. Not back then, though, you had to go off of maybe 4 or 5 screenshots in a magazine, read what they have to say about it, and then you can either take their advice, or you can wait till a buddy gets it, or you would try to rent it back in the day. But renting a new game when it came out, especially if it was popular, dude, really tough. Really tough. You'd have to be right there when it gets there. And even then, dude, there's people waiting. You know, because some people didn't probably have the money to buy video games, so they would just go rent it. You know, yeah, let God of War 2 be coming out, and you're going to try to go rent it on the opening day. Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck, dude. That is going to be rough. Because another thing is, the people that worked at the rental stores, they got it. You know what I mean? They'd already have a copy all back behind the counter for when they get off of work. You know what I mean? They're already on top of it. So yeah, that's my thing of disappointing games. I could have swore I remembered another one. I'm sure you guys that were a little bit older in the NES days, you know, were maybe in the NES days in the prime of it in 1990. Maybe you guys were like 15 or you were even 10 or something. You know, maybe you guys can remember some games you rented or something. I mean, I'm sure there was some stinker games when I rented them. I guarantee you there was. But I just don't remember. I don't remember games that I hated. I guess if I looked at all my games, it would dawn back on me. Because I know it happened. I know I rented some games and I was like, oh crap, what's this? And I'd go back and play some of my old games. I know that happened. I guarantee it. I just don't remember specifically what it is, you know. And there were some games that I rented, like Mega Man and stuff like that I didn't end up playing the whole weekend. But it was more because I didn't understand it. It wasn't because I didn't like the game. It was more like it was just really hard and it was kicking my ass. You know what I mean? And me and my brother just never put Mega Man. We could never figure it out. You know, we'd get to a boss, just get whooped. We could get to a lot of the bosses on the stages, but we could never beat them because you have to get the right weapon for the right guy, and we just struggled with where do I go first, where I could beat him with a pea shooter, and having the patience that when you get game over, you go back. So it wasn't that. But I'm trying to remember games that I was disappointed in. I guess I just can't remember. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments games that you were disappointed in and that you might have looked at a Game Informer or a PSM or a Nintendo Power or something like that. Maybe you guys saw it back in the day, that WWF WrestleMania. You're like, finally, I have a wrestling game. And then you got it and you were like, what the fuck? Who knows, man? I'm sure there were some sports games that were complete shit back then. You know what I mean? I definitely remember renting stuff sports-wise that I wasn't too keen with. You know, some of those like RBI games where I was kind of like, you know, this isn't that good or whatever. But I don't remember hating it. I'm telling you, that SmackDown Just Bring It, boy, did that. I'll never forget that. As video games came along, that scarred me, man. That scarred me. I will never forget that. That was so bad because of how excited I was, dude. And back then, too, you couldn't just take the game back, man, unless you wanted the same one. Like, that was it, man. You couldn't really do much, you know? And if you go trade it in or something, dude, you're going to lose like $50, you know? They're going to give you like $20 for it or something, dude, you know? And you probably paid 50, 60, you know? And that would hurt. It would hurt. But I remember, man, I used to have to like make Just Bring It fun by like writing stuff down on a paper and having a tournament or something, or I'd set up my own season and keep track of wins and losses and do rankings and stuff. You know, thinking of it back then, I should have used my computer and used some sort of Excel sheet and just did it myself, you know. But even then, though, you know, it's not as fun. The game should do that, you know. That's what you had to do back in the day when something sucked. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, guys, yeah, disappointing games. The Bouncer and SmackDown Just Bring It. Ugh. So bad. I'll never forget those two freaking games. But anyways, guys, I'm heading to work. I'll see you later.